Just 6 more verses of Hebrew, and we will be done with Jonah. So we're in Jonah 4:6 today. See if you can pronounce the Hebrew there of that line. And here's my pronunciation. Vayaman Yahweh Elohim ki kayon vaya'al me'al layonah. Okay, what do you recognize in there? Vav Patak doubling, although actually there's no doubling, but there's an obscure rule that says that when there's a vocal schwa under a doubled performative, the doubling can go away. I don't know why that is the case. It's an obscure rule. But so it would have been Vav Patak doubling, but the schwa has taken it away from us for some reason. Vayaman. Yod is third masculine singular, right? And so there's only 2 letters left. We're going to have to figure out what letter is missing. Be thinking about that. What letter do you think is missing? Yahweh Elohim is interesting, Lord God. We find this in Genesis, in a particular strand of Genesis that uses Yahweh throughout, Yahweh Elohim. So that's very interesting to me. And then this is a very long word for plant. I wonder if it's a loan word or something. It's a very long word for a Hebrew word. Kiyayon. I don't know whether it, again, maybe it came from a different language and it's a loan word, but I'm not sure. Look it up. Investigate. Vaya'al, again, we have Vav Patak doubling, so it's a converted imperfect, a preterite, better yet. Can I just say preterite from now on? We're friends now, right? Yod is third masculine singular, so the subject is a he. I assume it's Yahweh Elohim again. Again, we're left with 2 consonants. Something's missing. What could it be? There's a third consonant probably missing. Is it something missing on the front? Is it something missing in the middle? Is it something missing on the end? And then we have me'al. All, forget that all, it's a verb, but all is a preposition upon. What could the mem be? Ayin's a guttural. I don't do doubling. And so I might think that if it was min, the preposition min, that we might have some compensatory lengthening with a hirik becoming a sere, getting a little longer because it tried to shoot a dagesh in there, bing, and it bounced back and became a sere. Not really. Okay, so from upon. And then we have Yonah. Do you recognize lamed? It's the preposition to. So we put it all together, and what do we have here? We have, let me give you the translation, and Yahweh Elohim prepared a plant. So God's going to give some shade to Jonah, and he lifted it up from upon to Jonah. Again, not good English, but it's good, fine Hebrew. We get the sense here. Jonah's in the sun, and I assume this is around Nineveh, which is in northern Iraq today. It's hot, so he's going to give him some shade. God prepared a plant for him, and he lifted it up, a leafy plant. A gourd, and he lifted it up from over Jonah. Okay, so let's talk about Vayaman and Vaya'al. What's missing? If what first letter could be missing? Well, it could be a first yod. The yod took a hike, although let's keep going. Could be a nun, but first nun, but nun assimilates when no vowel separates. So we would expect some doubling, maybe of the mem if that were the case. It could be a middle week where a sharuk or a holam or a vav has gone away. Well, I'm just going to go to the answer. It's a third. These are third hays, and the hay goes away. In the converted imperfect, very often the hay will go away. So both of these, this is mana and this is Allah, and the third hay has gone away in the converted imperfect. So, okay, enough of that. Let's move on. I've got 3 slides on this one, divided the verse up into 3 slides. See if you can pronounce the Hebrew here. So this is lihyot, zail al rosho, lahazil lo, me'ra'ato. Okay, what do you recognize? Well, lamed's a preposition. Zail is a word that means shadow. All, there's a pawn again. Holam vav, holam vav, holam vav. These are his and him. Him, his, this is the third masculine singular, either object, suffix, or possessive pronoun. So this is his rosh, his head. This is to him, preposition to again. And this is from his bad, from his grief. By the way, the word bad, we can see that it's not necessarily really bad. Like God repents of doing bad, but God doesn't do anything morally bad. It's the things that are experienced negatively. And here, whether or not Jonah should have bad or not, it's not legitimate bad, but he's feeling bad. That's the way he feels. So the word bad, ra, we're realizing it's not a comment on whether it really is bad. It's more about the way whoever you're talking about experiences it. So being destroyed by God feels bad to Ninevites. It's not actually morally bad. So be ready that ra doesn't necessarily mean it's genuinely bad. Okay, well, let's go ahead to the translation, shall we? So he put a plant over him to be as a shade upon his head, to save him, to him from his bad, from his grief, from his feeling bad, that kind of thing. All right, so what are these little grammar bits? What is this one here, for example? I've translated it to be or not to be. Lamed is a preposition. I see hai in there. So yes, this is a hayot. It's an infinitive construct. So a verb with a preposition on it is either going to be a participle or more likely an infinitive construct. So both this one here too. This is from a word. We're going to try to figure out what word it is in a second. But it also has a preposition on it. So this is an infinitive construct, and this is an infinitive construct. And this is an infinitive construct from haya. And third hay verbs have problems with the hay. That's why they're third week or lamed week, where lamed is a placeholder for the third consonant. Basically the hay went away and we put ot on the end. Ot is a feminine plural ending normally. Here it's just kind of like a ballast. It's kind of like something to hold that sucker down. But a lot of times the third hay will use ot as its ending in an infinitive construct. So it just translates to be, and it's from haya. And you just kind of get used to it as you go along. So what is this one here? Well, I've got three letters. I've got a hey, I've got a zayin, I've got a lamed, but this zayin is doubled. So I'm thinking the hey might be something other than, and I've got a hirik yod too. The hirik yod should be a big tell. So I've got a hirik yod and a hey. I'm thinking this is hiphil. I'm thinking this is an H something. And because it has a preposition on it, I'm thinking it's an H infinitive construct of something. So now I'm left with, well, what are the three letters? I've got two of them. I've got a lamed and I've got a zayin, but it's a doubled zayin. Big clue. What assimilates when no vowel separates? What gets sucked in and doubles a letter? Could it be a first nun? It is. This is from natzal, to rescue or to save or to deliver. And I've looked it up in the Hiphil. That's kind of some of its meanings. So to break it apart, and I'm sorry this is not real clear, but it is what it is. Lamed is a preposition, and it also is a hint that this is an infinitive construct, because that's infinitive constructs is the kind. We did a video recently on the difference between infinitive absolute and infinitive construct. One key difference is infinitive constructs can take prepositions, they can take possessive suffixes, and so forth. So the preposition on the front is a hint that this might be, say, an infinitive construct. The hey and the hirik yod are both indications that it's a hiphil or H stem. And a patak is often found under the hey or under the performative of a hiphil. And then that's all. That's the letters that's left. And what's happened is nun assimilates when no vowel separates. And so I think I'm going to add this in my Udemy course to the unit on weak verbs. I thought I was done, but I've got energy now that I had a day off. So let's go ahead and add another video on first nun weak verbs, and then we'll say that unit is done. But anyway, see my course on Udemy. It's only $24 when it's full price. And you pay thousands of dollars for a course at a college, and you're getting actually 2 semesters worth of stuff, about 15 hours worth of videos. So, I mean, it's really a good deal. $24 or $3,000. You decide. Okay, more than that, actually. But who's counting, right? You've got lots of money. And when it's on sale on Udemy, it's sometimes only $9 or whatever. So I'm charging way too little for this course. Okay, there's a blurb. Let me keep going. Final line of this verse. See if you can pronounce the Hebrew. Here's how I would pronounce it. Vayishmach Yonah al hakikanyon simcha gedolah. Okay, you notice a lot of samak in here, a lot of joy. This is the joy word. We've got samak there. We've got samaka here. We've got, well, okay, a lot of joy. So Hebrew likes what's called pleonasm or fullness. Dying you will die. And here he's going to rejoice a great joy. There was much rejoicing. Yay. Because, he's got a plant now. So what do you recognize? You recognize Jonah, you recognize upon, you recognize the word for plant. Kikayon, we learned. What's that on the front? Hey, patak doubling. It's the plant. Simcha is the noun form for joy, rejoice a joy. And it's feminine, right? Kamatse, it's a feminine word. Gedalah is a adjective. That's when I unpacked my adjectives. It agrees in gender, feminine, kamatse. It agrees in number, singular, and it agrees in definiteness. It's a great joy. There's no article on it. Both no article. So here we have vav patak doubling. It's a converted imperfect preterite. Yod, third masculine singular because it's Jonah doing it. Subject comes after the verb. Put it all together, and what do we have? And Jonah was glad about the plant. He was glad, a great glad. He rejoiced a great joy. We might say in English, he was really happy. And you can't, it's not good English to say he rejoiced a great joy. That's not good English. So if we're creating a really good translation, we have to go with it a little bit. So do I have any grammar bits? I don't think I have any grammar bits on this one. There's a call or G preterite, third masculine singular from samach. And I've told you about the feminine singulars throughout. I think we're done. Hey, patak doubling the article. I think that's it. And it is. And we have finished yet another verse, 5 more verses, and we will be done with Jonah.